Yeah, that's right.
Okay, members, welcome to the community plans committee meeting. Our first job tonight is to elect the chair of the community plan committee.
Well done, Corley, Councillor Corley.
As chair, anyone else? So Alan is chair, okay.
I'd like to propose Dawn Clark
As chair,
as chair.
okay. So I'll second. So Dawn Clark
So,
as
just
chair.
for clarity, if you're proposing someone else to that, we should not stand as chair. Okay, so you only have one nomination, councillor.
So it's Dawn Clark as chair. So
You have a proposal, unless there's any other nomination.
So, yeah, we've got any other nominations?
No.
All good.
All in favour?
That will teach you not to be actually.
Yeah,
Right, that's the elected vice chair of the community plan committee. Do we have any nominations?
now. Councillor Corley.
Okay. We have a seconder for councillor Quillen. Any other nominations? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, sorry.
Any other nominations?
Yeah.
I take it that everybody's in agreement?
Yeah.
Right, thank you. To receive apologies for absence.
Councillor Brotherton, I know she's on this committee, but she has apologised for coming, and councillor Irene.
To note declarations of members' interest. Any other than what's already been.
Councillor Quillen, sorry.
Yeah, I've got an interest in chair of the
I to make what people.
Please, card, thank you. Anyone else?
Right, so first 5 minutes between plan committee meeting held on the 23rd of January. You're read.
14th of March, sorry, that's incorrect. 14th of March.
Right, on the 14th of March. Right, okay. So, have we ever proposed of those? Seconded? All those in favour who were there? Any abstentions?
All abstentions after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very much.
Right. Item 6, public participation, a period not exceeding 15 minutes for members of the public to ask questions or submit comments in relation to the public agenda.
There are no questions.
Okay, so. Okay. Right, to review the year-to-date financial position of the community plan committee. We'll have copies of the financial statement. And are there any questions? You're happy with those as being a correct record? Is there any comments from the clerk regarding the financial statement?
No, it's all very well. And as it should be.
Sorry, I should say opposite clerks up there. Right, we'll move on then to right, consider matters related to grant application. So you should have all had each of grant applications. The grant working group met, which was so that was me and Dennis.
That must be my computer.
So yeah, me and Dennis did meet to go through, and it's mainly as a working group does to have a look, oversee of the grant applications and of sort of fresh eye point of view, say, well, we want more information on that aspect, rather than having to raise it at this committee and then deferring grants. The working group sort of looks at that and then also does recommendations whether we should.
So I can confirm that the questions that were asked by the Grants Advisory Group were then passed on to the applicants, and where they have responded, has been detailed. Some responded after the agenda, so I'll take them as we go along.
I was going to say, I shall defer to Jackie now to actually go through each grant
So-
application.
Friends of Queen's Park was submitted in the last financial year. So the application form is slightly different, you might notice. The application was subject to a satisfactory quote being received. Councillor Coyley declared interest in Friends of Queen's Park, and unfortunately the quote was addressed to Councillor Coyley rather than Friends of Queen's Park. So we spoke to the supplier, and of course they've now come back and addressed it directly to Friends of Queen's Park, which is as it should be. So it was already looked at and considered, and that was the outcome. So I don't know if they want to go with that. We're happy to proceed with that now that we've got what we need.
Okay, so we'll put that to the vote then, all those in favour?
I just make a comment before? I know that, Queen's Park Friends applied in 2022 for a grant in this committee, and I just wondered what the condition was as far as our policy goes. Do we have a time limit?
So our current policy is 1 year, and you can apply every year, but it must be a different project. We are planning to revisit the policy because I think there's been a few members that have expressed the need to change. So the chair and I will get together next
Well,
week to
can
go
I
through
put a
that.
suggestion then that we don't allow any applications within 2 years?
Okay.
Because I think, potentially, we're not, I feel that we should be looking at sustainability. And if you can apply every year, even if it's a project, you're not necessarily fostering sustainability.
Okay, I think the best thing we could do is go through it formally and properly on Monday, and then we'll run it by you, Jill, and then we'll put it to committee in September for approval. So if anyone's got any thoughts on the policy, by all means email me, and we'll factor that in.
We do need to relook at the membership of the advisory group anyway, and then actually, everything will be run through the advisory group before it comes to this committee, so it'll be going through several stages before it comes here. Which is what we're trying to see, is to have a more robust community grant fund. So it means that Jackie it's not ambiguous, we the advisory group, we've sat there and thought, well, we're giving that to somebody, but is it in line with what it says? There's no strict guidance within the community grants to say what we fund and what we don't fund. So we want it does need to be more clear.
Can I just express an interest in being part of the advisory group at this point? So I'm happy to propose the Queen's Park.
You have a second there? All those in favour?
2,256.
Anybody against? Abstentions? Crew gang show.
Going back to it was something you didn't want to fund were partial funding for Lyceum Hire was so the group, when we put this before the grants advisory group, they're asking for a total of £2,500. They've got quite a bit of match funding, but they asked for funding for the Lyceum Hire, which the grants advisory group said no to. So it looks as if the proposal, from my point of view, should be a partial fund on this one if we're going to take out the Lyceum Hire.
Yeah, the reason behind it was that the ticket sales covered the hire anyway, and it's like green hire, we tend not to actually fund green hire. So,
Okay.
which is why we need to, we haven't done, we haven't done.
Absolutely, it's a definition of charity, isn't it?
And also, we've only got a finite amount of money to give out to the grants pot, and also, you know, it's not cost of living. You know, there was a lot of applications this time around, and we could see that, you know, the pot might not last 12 months. So, which is why there's quite a few which we said partially.
Is the pot £50,000?
Yeah.
So that would
Yeah.
fund 20 £2,500
Yeah,
projects.
and if it runs out midway through the year, it runs out, so we're kind of looking at measure targets in certain areas, there's duplications.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this as a partial fund.
So the partial funding then would be what is proposed at £1,500 to the scouts. Anybody in favour? Proposal, sorry.
I had a question about it.
All right, go on.
It was just the total cost of £2,500 for direct. Quite a lot. Any-
They're not asking us for it, although they're asking us for £500 contribution towards that, they're funding £2,000 of that from using directly themselves, so it's just a partial fund there.
So, just a partial.
A proposal for the £1,500 grant. Secondly,
Partial fund, £1,500.
all those in favour? There you go.
Thank you.
We move on to Daisy's Green, project around wellbeing. This is where we asked the question about duplication, because we were funding Dove services.
So I
which
checked-
is bereavement
I checked with Dove Services, and asked them specifically, this is specifically for bereaved children at Daisy's Green. I'm not even sure actually if it's a grant, it may be a consideration for funding for the future, but they fund bereaved children, so it's quite specialist. And I checked with Dove, who we also fund, and they felt that it would be a really good add-on to what they already offer, and in fact they're already talking to them to work with them because of their offerings. They're tapping into each other. I don't think this is a grant, it's just my opinion. I think Dawn wanted more information on memory jars, didn't you, which
It seems a lot of money, £2,000 for a memory jar.
they came back and said, no, don't this printed on yours or not. The memory jar is something that we use when doing work as part of therapy. It's designed to help as a way of expressing and making sense of what has happened. Each jar has 6 different colours, which represents different memories, i.e. going on holiday or a particular day out. We end up with a striped jar, and each jar has a tag with notes on as to what each colour means to them. We found that youngsters keep these jars for a very long time, and they put in sand and chalk and goodness knows what else. So the memory jar, what are they actually asking for? £500 contribution against £2,000, and it's £50 it costs them per memory jar. So that's
Get cool paper jar. Yeah, and I think my thoughts were that Jack can take it away and look at it, come out of them. We have another stream of funding which is more.
So we have a wellbeing, those that are not familiar with it, we have a wellbeing pot where we allocate funding to certain areas. So it would require committee to allocate some funding towards, we already have £2,500 funding towards bereavement services, which has been allocated to Dove Services, and they're going to be running out of Wishing Well. But it would require members to fund instead of grant this, and it depends on how much you wanted to fund it. Jill.
I was going to suggest that you use I think if we've got, stuff already doing this,
They're
not
not
want to duplicate it, and if they're working together, I would want to look at the screen, so I would suggest you.
don't do children, which is why they supporting them delivering the service. But it's whether or not, yeah,
I think we should look at those two as one way.
that's all.
I was sort of in line with Jill, but I think it's a worthwhile cause, I really do, for great choice to be awful. I think just the numbers don't work. I think, if the numbers worked, I think it's a really good idea. If the other, sorry, I can't remember what you said, the core group aren't doing children.
Yeah.
Then I can see why there would be a need for this, because it is quite specialist and, well, it's a traumatic time, isn't it? It's just the numbers. If the numbers were better, I think it's something that I think we should consider. So it's either goes back for better quotes, because I think £50 is ridiculous, or alternatively, it's amalgamated with the other, the wellbeing one, and they work together properly, and the funding is strengthened that way. And in Crewe, there is a facility for that. I think it is important for families to have.
Would members be happy then if we define this one, if I went back to find out more information?
Yeah.
For my chair, I apologise for interrupting. I feel it might be a summary of the discussion, the officer's views and the members' views that whilst the grant decline, the officer might come to the next committee with a draft service level agreement proposal from all those other big pots that members could consider separate to grants. And someone might want to propose that. That's what we could.
Opposed? Yeah. All those in favour? Right, next one is the Caritas Diocese of Shrewsbury is the organisation that is regarding the new Caritas Centre, which is on Delaware Street. Thank you very much. Currently closest to the right. Any questions?
When I was thinking a piece of land to want to use for forest school, is that on the perimeter of the car park?
Yes,
You know,
on the front bit, yes.
So there's not a huge piece of land, is there?
No.
It's within the perimeter terms.
Yes, yes.
So it's like one long strip.
And then the front,
All they go to the front as well.
yes,
I see.
yeah, so that's where the growing beds would be, and that bit to the side of it. Sorry, we know it will go to the,
Yeah.
bit behind the, light show.
Yeah.
So
So
it's gonna be a
bits and
whole new
pieces really,
song,
but the
yeah,
whole, yeah,
whole
right,
new
okay.
of it, yeah,
Right, fine.
that's all right.
Can I just, because I made comments on all of these, have they been integrated within this thinking?
Yeah, so I spoke with Lindsay Lewis, our Gen manager, and checked on a Wild Rumpus update, because that borders what they're doing. So Lindsay's view was it's two very different projects. Wild Rumpus is an adventure playground. This is a forest school, and also Wild Rumpus are doing nothing at the moment. The person who's leading it's left, and it's going nowhere at the moment for that site. That was Lindsay's one.
Just add to that. So I spoke to the person I know that currently works at Wild, and they will talk to characters and see if they can just joint work and might keep the Wild Rumpus project, which is in that Joseph Street, alive. So I don't even know about the legal situation.
No. Lindsay's view is it's nothing happening in Wild Rumpus at the moment.
Okay, so I'll put it to the vote then. Is there any more questions?
I just want to say, I think it's good use of that piece of land, which is harassing. Yeah.
I think it's a really good number of beneficiaries.
Yeah,
That's quite interesting.
yeah.
And having spoken to, yourself to Becky, what they grow is going to be used to in their lunch clubs, which they deliver at St Andrews and St Peter's. So, that, you know, it's not to be growing flowers, and it is going to be grown. And also it'll be, you know, if you want to call them the commons, call them the common walk path, you can have it. It's that sort of, you know, it's a
Thanks for the birds.
thanks to the birds, yeah. It's a Tadcaster approach to growing that they're putting forward, so.
Also, we've made, just a really quick note on this one, we've made, Musking Road allotments, made a plot available, which Becky has taken up, and she's taken children there, attend the lunch clubs, and also some school children, to obviously grow things. There's 6 different schools involved in using that one plot.
So it has grown.
Yeah.
Right, so proposal, all those in favour?
So, 213999 for St Mary's Forest School at
Do they need another penny?
Next one is the Alpha Regional Women's Peace Security Foundation. Right, this is there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, so they are asking for funding to relax yourself, massage, yoga, meditation sessions, recharge and connect for women. Things that Dawn had, or sorry, Mark's advisory group picked up on, was a couple of things that you feel.
Well, it's consumable. There's lots of things, kitchen towel and tissues and things and refreshment, which, you know, they're not tangible. They're not some, you know, as I say, the DBS checks, that, you know, that's part of the solution with the DBS checks. So, project coordinator, teacher. So to me, there's 4 items, but the rest of them, you know, I didn't think it was ran for people. Sorry. I need to put distance glasses on.
I apologise, I try and stay out of the way just to make it harder for you. They're not wishing to direct members, but I'd indicate that this doesn't meet policies, it's seeking 100% funding. So whilst I identify perfectly reasonable reasons to challenge it as well, you may also have the reason to say it should be resubmitted with maximum, and then maybe some suggestions or things more.
There aren't many beneficiaries. Please don't at me. And are these women referred from? What means are they actually dealing with? Are they people who have health problems?
Yeah, so I mean they look after women who've been through trauma.
So they're referred from someone.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, I read that it's also to help with cost of living crisis,
Yeah.
mental health.
Still aren't many beneficiaries.
No.
Yeah.
I just want to know what a bar sharp and Jane Roll assessment is.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd give you one better.
Councillor Coley.
Yeah, I think I asked the working group. What's the connection with Alpha Amiga? Is it just actually just another name, or is it?
No, it is.
To do with security.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why?
Is it the one?
It's the why the CEO who has set up this foundation.
I went to one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think the town council should be paying for tissues and wipes and.
Yeah, I think that take on board what the clerk has said, and that we.
I mean, I would like to support this because I think it's a good idea, but not in this form. And, you know, the surveyed 120 million, where were these 120 million, is my question. And we've got to Blake Academy in Antwerp, well, I'm sorry, but, you know, we've done things, we've done things in Crewe. So if those people that were interviewed in Antwerp Lake, well, that's fine, but you know, I think the idea is good, but like stuff, I don't want to pay for consumables. I don't mind paying for teaching, but I'm not paying for consumables. Biscuits, cups of tea, I mean, I know they're essential part, but I think it is, as it stands now, I don't think I can support
The whole thing, or just the,
the whole lot, I can't support it. So,
I'm similar with Jill, and I really like the idea. I think it's essential for women who have been perhaps in an abuse situation and they need this. I understand that. I think that's a really good idea, and I'm 100% support it. But in 100% format in this way, I agree. I think they've got to think of something that they also put into, some fundraising, something that they contribute to it, not just 100%. So I think, like, to say no altogether is, it just wants to be looking at and readjusting. I think the idea is
Defer, defer it back.
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Sorry, Chair, just to,
They have got, they supplied their bank balance.
Up until
and
February.
It's £42,000 in their bank.
sorry, Chair,
Oh, right.
you mentioned deferral.
Yeah.
If I can suggest, not a deferral, the application we spoke about, the policy board doesn't meet the names of the committee.
That is
which then has
rejected.
to be rejected, but encouraged for resubmission in the report.
So resubmission or funding?
Not
Resubmission,
resubmission.
So we don't want to put them off altogether.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know what word is the right word to use, but we are supporting it.
I'll speak to them.
Yeah.
Rejected, but it was rejected for the reasons that it was 100% funding, which was being requested, which was against our policy, and then there are items on it which are suitable, which we wouldn't consider funding.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
yeah, we'll-
Okay.
You welcome the principle of the project.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
welcome
so
the
there's
principle.
well,
Yeah,
support.
that's brilliant, yeah.
You need a proposal second.
Proposal, seconded by Tony, all those in favour? Any abstentions, any against? Abstentions?
So, shall I put you down as a declared interest in that then?
I know you didn't
Should,
like, but yeah.
yeah.
Declared interest.
So I have a question. I remember a discussion about how projects have to fund themselves partially.
Yeah.
Why is this on the agenda?
Yeah, it should be.
If I can explain, Chair, it's been in the past usual practice for all grants to come forward to the committee. However, we have spoken in the office that if they're not meeting policy and not passing through all the gates, I think it's a balance of members being aware of as much as is possible, and then equally not wasting everyone's time. So there is a system that Jack is creating, a digital system that will mean that things that don't meet policy will not then be progressed and be encouraged to go away.
Yeah, you're quite right, it says minimum, it is on the form, you know, that 20% match funding for applications over £1,000 and they have to apply.
It's like to take some indirect funding for the hire, but so we're going to decline it anyway, aren't we? Yeah.
Okay. Hope Church, the Hope Church delivers the Hope Cafe for asylum teachers, which these are.
So one of the things that the Grants Advisory Group asked on this was what were the backpacks going to be used for? Because they considered, they would spend quite a lot of money to spend on backpacks. And I asked the question, they're fairly small ones that are used for them to go to college for their ESOL lessons. We don't give them out until they start attending CCS.
If, Jill,
Can I ask you, does, I only hear, you know, what I hear on the press and whatever. But, I understood that the government were going to, take the asylum seekers back and not have them in the hotels anymore, and I don't know if that's right or not. But, I'm just wondering, you know, is that just hype from the government? And will this category continue, or has this category only got short lifespan?
I think it's region by region. And these stories, I think mostly come from South England. I understand.
I think the church would always continue in some format because they do
It
such.
was going for the asylum seekers,
Yeah.
it was actually supporting cost of families and everything.
They do a lot of fundraising.
So I think our thoughts were that the fridge and the freezer was to be funded, but the backpacks and notepads and books and stations were not.
So just to make it clear to me, so Hope Church has had a cafe.
Prior to-
It's been open for quite a while, hasn't it? It had a own cafe before
Yeah.
it started offering support to asylum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So the equipment would still be used.
Oh, yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So are we looking at just the fridge and freezer or?
That was our recommendation, what you said, was,
797,
1600.
1673 total. They were asking for 2,333. And we're proposing the fridge and freezer only, which is 6.
But then we've got the issue then, the only match funding that they've got is for the backpack, so we will be back to 100% funding, so then do we need to actually then return it back to them?
Well, they'd have to put their own, I suppose they could put that down as a total cost of that pack, so they're going to sort it out themselves, so they're actually only asking against 2713, they're only asking for 1673, so they have got, if you look at it that way, they have.
That's it, it's
Yeah.
see, in my mind, it's two different projects.
Well, they look together now.
One is the cafe support, the other is resold backpacks, it's two different, but the backpacks is nothing to do with, fridge and freezer.
Sorry, Chair. If the committee's minded to support the principle and means to reduce funding, you might be able to recognise some intent of match funding to assist the decision.
Well, you've got volunteers running the cafe,
Yes,
so that would be.
yeah, they do get a lot of contributions of surplus food from lots of different organisations and,
They do good work, you know,
Yeah,
not just
so-
for the science.
yeah.
So,
We have a proposal then.
so £1,673 to fund the fridge and freezer and the rest. for Hope Church.
All those in favour? Against? Moving on to,
Autumn House Scouts. This is the new meeting unit for the Scout Hut. So whilst it is technically, I asked them the question, is this going to be fixed to the wall? Because we said not to fund, or members don't like to fund, I should say, because it isn't in the policy, fixtures and fixings. It will be fixed to the wall, but it is a standalone unit that if they moved on, they take it with them, so to speak. It's not only a heater, it provides air conditioning. They use the Scout Hut or hall for other activities as well, leadership training in the district. Ramblers Association use it on a regular basis, but it's either freezing cold or boiling hot, so they feel that if they had this, they would be able to throw the doors open to other community members and would welcome us to circulate in detail. So yeah, they can keep the temperature up because apparently it's freezing already.
Yeah, I think hot usually are.
Yeah. Go all in there, we go.
Gas buckets.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I have a question on that one. So I actually went and found it. It's really, really hidden away, isn't it? It looks like it's in somebody's back garden. It's two big buildings with no windows. But the question I've got is, when we try to get a grant fund for things like that, you've got to prove that the is insulated well enough to make it worth doing. So I love the idea. I want one myself, but I don't want somebody to spend a lot of money on the heat pump and it's just go straight out through the roof.
So I did go back to them and ask them also about energy costs, because that was another thing that France advised. So we wanted to know what would it save them, you know, apart from the fact that it would obviously keep them warm or cool, what would it save them? And she gave me quite a detailed explanation on savings. So currently our gas heaters use between 6 and 8 bottles a year at a current cost of £60 each. So £360 per year, only used during winter. So that's 26 weeks. air-to-air heat pumps work on approximately, this is a long thing, 1:4 ratios where every kilowatt electric input will give you 4 kilowatts of heat output. And it goes on, I won't read it all out because it will just take forever, but she's justified. They will only keep the heating on a timer, so it will only be on when they're in there. It's all going to be regulated and obviously it will go off. So the answer to a very simple question, would it save you money, was quite detailed, and I'm happy to read it out. But I'm satisfied that she answered the
We're happy
question
for you not
that
to.
it would save the money.
Well, she said it will cost them £132.60 per year against what it's currently
And
costing.
also, you can't get gas bottles now. As a caravan, I know this, it's really difficult to get gas bottles now. You just can't get them. Yeah, so, yeah. Looking like that, or just going down.
I need two.
I'll tell you one, double time. So are we, what we're thinking on this one?
Proposal is to fund the 100% of the grant. Seconded, so proposal, Councillor Francis, seconded. Councillor Mortimer, all those in favour?
Approved £2,500 for Walton House tax. Okay. Creative Action Team, we're going to have to move on from this one because I asked several questions that I haven't had a response to yet, so I would suggest members that we decline this one and ask them to give us the answers to the questions and resubmit for the next meeting. Okay. Submission.
Yeah, we were a bit.
Yeah, I asked them quite detailed questions and then chased them and didn't get a response. It could be a good reason why.
Right, so
Okay.
Cheshire Young Carers, respite activities. Happy with the funded, the last funding was in 2019.
So I asked, the Grants Advisory Group asked me to find out whether all the people that benefited both directly and indirectly were within the Freetown boundary. On the application forms now, everybody looks at a map of our boundary and we ask them to state and look at the map and tick that they've read it and only claim for people living within the Freetown boundary. But I went back to them anyway and they state that all of the 150 people live and benefit within the Freetown boundary. Most of them are in CW2, so I went back again and said, we don't find everybody in CW2. Can you absolutely categorically in writing state that they are within the Freetown boundary? And I've got that in writing that yes, they are. So they're asking for £2,493 young adult carer projects.
Notice that the direct match funding making space is not confirmed, is it? We've had a question before we recognise that off that thing, but it's not confirmed.
No, and some of them aren't on the other applications. So at the time that they submit the application, if it's confirmed, they will say it's confirmed. Obviously, it doesn't always work in order that we would have it as confirmed match funding. I always ask them to let me know if it gets confirmed before this meeting, but that hasn't happened. So I'm assuming that that's, as of yet, it's not confirmed. So I could ask for confirmation.
It's standard press process. Offer the grant subject to confirmation of all match.
Martin,
I was just curious if anyone knows where the laser quest and the bowling and escape room and so on. Where is that? Here in Crewe.
It's on the leisure park. We read that on.
yeah,
So I was just curious, sorry, why transport's costing over £6,000 if it's a couple of miles.
15 sessions, so they're asking us for 650, aren't the total cost of 6650.
That's for a session, which when a coach I've just inquired into to take my dementia group from Nantwich to Bridgend, it's really £20, so
Yeah.
it's a 15p, you know, so yeah, that's great. Why?
So, the question's dogged me my entire life. So, yeah, my question is, as a point of principle, can we, only or prefer activities that fund businesses in that same reason? Once you get on a coach, you might as well go to Manchester because the cost is you know, to get everything out. But I would like to know that in principle, now we've got all these snazzy venues that we do, if we want to go to things, we fund them to go to things like the Lyceum and the local things rather than.
Yeah, I'm aware that the young carers do have a lot of disability within, so that's where we would need the transfer, even from CW2 to the venue that we would need the transportation.
I don't want to fund the later trust Manchester.
Right. Have we got later questions?
It's all in
On Councillor Wyben's point,
Why then?
I just clarify that you're going to speak about refreshing and improving the policy, and that could be a crude first approach to procurement. And that would be absolutely fine.
But at this moment in time, we don't have that.
I don't believe it's in the policy.
No,
So we can't restrict it to any decision.
I mean, I support, you know, young carers, but,
Can we have one meeting? Please?
if I was an average member of the public, looking at, I'd be saying, you know, why are those children there getting their activities funded? And I think we've got to be very careful because, you know there are organisations that support young carers, so I, you know, would support them, but I think we've got to bear in mind that, you have to remember the public might not understand that. So I think, you know, we've got to be careful about what we actually think and what we don't fund. And I think funding theatre trips, probably is the best. Funding transport, you know, that is something that we know is very expensive and that parents must be afford themselves. And you know, first aid clubs, again, that's something that would be useful to carers when they're caring for somebody or you know, I just think we've got to be careful about what we actually fund, looking at it from a public perspective.
I'm thinking these children which obviously will be have the opportunity to participate
Yeah. So it's a chance for them to have a nice kick back, enjoy a session, isn't it? Free of having to care for whoever they care for.
I disagree. I think the general public do understand the situation from the parents. I think could do.
I'm really going with this one then.
We'll put it to the vote. All those in favour?
I haven't proposed it yet, so.
Well, I would propose that we fund whatever the amount of the transport, or that we fund the transport.
Only the transport.
Only the transport.
Yeah,
So
I
650.
mean, I didn't see the value of the first aid.
Well, this is actually, I'm just picking up on what Jill's saying about that it's actually quite confusing in what they're saying and the
It says
funding.
first aid course here, but.
If you also could tell me, please tell us briefly what was No, what was funded previously was the first aid course.
Yeah.
2019 was the
I was
first
thinking,
aid
where's
course.
the first one? I couldn't find it.
It's what we
Yeah.
found there.
Yeah, it's what we funded last time, sorry. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was on the list as well.
So this time, it's the items which are listed, which is the transport plus all the activities. So,
Yes, we last funded them in 2019 for the first aid course.
so
And the activities are in grill, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, we don't know that, do we?
Could I have to do it subject to confirmation, if that would?
we can't actually do that because the policy doesn't say that active, everything that we fund is has to be delivered in a crew area.
I think if we fund transport, I think we give them a substantial sum of money that will assist them in finding these activities.
So £650 for transport.
That is the proposal.
Well, you could give, could we say we give them £1,000 towards transport?
Yeah, I was going to say they're asking for 10% of the transport costs, perhaps we can offer 15, 20.
So we have a proposal.
Funding, but it's just in a different way.
Right, okay.
20% is 1330.
So the proposal is then to fund the young carers £1,000.
£1,000 or 20%?
I think 20% would be better.
Right, so 1330 is 20% of 6650, and that's the proposal, so we're partially funded.
Do we have a proposal for that?
Yeah.
Seconded. All those in favour?
Partially funded.
Anybody against?
Towards transport.
You've got unanimous there, Chair.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't see Mr. Wise.
He didn't hear in the end, yeah.
He did, he couldn't see. Yeah.
Okay.
Cheshire and Warrington Carers Trust, relax and take care of yourself.
So, Councillor White asked me to go back to the group and ask the type of complementary therapies that are offered. So, complementary therapies offer carers a much needed chance to relax, reduce stress, and enjoy some much needed time to themselves. They work two therapists who live in Crewe who offer treatments at a discounted rate that averages approximately £17 per hour. The usual price is 35 to 40. These therapists have access to service themselves as carers, and it is their way of giving back. They are DBS checked and fully qualified. They welcome voluntary contributions from their end users for carers. They ask for £5 or £10, but stress that it is optional. Some carers experience pain and tension due to the physical demands of the caring role. They offer Reiki, hand and shoulder massage, Indian head massage, and group relaxation sessions. One of the therapists is actually funded through these guys, the Cheshire and Warrington Carers Trust, to take her qualifications. She comes and she's very much part of it and comes in and does it at quite a reduction, 35 to 40 is a pretty standard rate to pay for that sort of treatment, I think. And she's doing it for £17 instead of 35 to 40. And then you're in for it. That's where we want to do that. Does that satisfy your question then? Sorry,
Yes, thank you.
So they are asking for, again, the Grants Advisory Group didn't feel we should fund refreshments and didn't feel we should fund evaluation and monitoring, promotion and publicity and complementary therapies was okay. Yeah, so that's £2,000 instead of 2,325.
Yeah, that's what evaluation model is actually standard practice as part of the officers who run Cheshire and Warrington. Yeah,
The last 2,000.
that's it. Right, any questions on that?
Big questions. You know, we've got basically two people who are currently running some kind of business, who have applied to us for a grant to give discounted.
Oh no, the carers, the trust is the trust, but these are just the two therapy workers that come in to deliver the treatments. They do a whole host of, of other
But I mean,
things.
what else have we got in Crewe that runs the same thing?
Off the top of my head, I don't know, I can't, if I'm being totally honest, I don't know.
Well, Visual, Motherwell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have got other, I mean, I don't, before I agree to this, I'd like to know what else other charities are supplying at the same time. And, you know, they're not actually saying we'll do this free. We'll charge people, you know, carers, we will charge them money to do this. And, you know, I don't know, I just would like, and I haven't really picked up that it would actually, you know, have a lot of people involved in it. You know, and how would these carers, you know, normally if it's something like this, the referral system, they refer from someone, or there's none of that attached to this.
And there's also vacant space, isn't there?
Yeah, so I think we need to.
Who
before
are
we
the
get this,
carers
we need-
up now, and they are delivering different to what previous carers would did. So, and in respect to respite care, that's,
I just think we need to know what else is there before we. And, you know, they might be filling a gap in the market, I don't know, but I don't know about the market.
And how would you like to do it? I was to defer it and I'll find out more information.
Yeah, I think so, because otherwise, we just. And I did think there was a huge amount of people going to access it either, I don't know, but I just got a feeling.
I'm new to this, I don't know what other, you know, like this is around. I think it would work in principle, because I think the carers that people do give care probably would like to go somewhere where they've got the same conversation and understand how they feel. So it's quite niche really, and they are the lowest paid people, but actually they do the most work and they're unappreciated.
Yeah.
So I think from a different perspective, it would be probably quite nice for them to think, oh, we're going to go there, they're going to understand them, they're going to receive what they need, rather than go somewhere where it's just a well centre.
Yeah, they're getting support as well.
They're getting
like-minded
support,
people.
yeah, in the conversation, so it is, it's a two thing, but I agree with Jill, I think we probably need a bit more. But I mean, I think, you know what, where you highlighted, we don't need the monitoring and the refreshment, that's fine. And I think, you know, you think about the amount of carers that are around every minute that you turn as a carer. So actually, there probably would be a need. I think it's how they're going to attract these people and how's everybody going to know to use it. So we don't want to fund something that's going to just go and then the money's gone and then nothing's done. So I think it's that bit, I think, that you're referring to, Jill. Yeah. So I don't know, because I'm new to this, I don't know how you put that forward.
you know, I do a lot in this market, in this area with carers, and actually carers being able to actually free up the time to be able to go and do this.
That's what I mean, I get
It's
it. I think it's a fantastic project.
It's how, you know,
Yeah,
it's behind that, well,
yeah.
why are they going up, who's doing care for?
That's right.
You know, and.
Because they do need respite themselves, who looks after them?
And also, there's a lot of lifting involved in some
Lifting,
care. So what they're
exactly.
saying is they're going with back problems and then they sit and have a coffee with like-minded people.
That's right.
It's really
They get
valuable.
very, very valuable.
Well, it's whether they can actually free up the time to actually go there and do that, because
Yeah.
they've got to actually organise
I know,
somebody to come in and care, you know.
that's right.
You know, we either do this week and week out with dementia.
So I like it, I
Yeah.
like it because it's niche and I like it that, you know, the like-minded people understand the people that they will be receiving. It's not like a normal wellness centre.
We want to know more about the process, how it will be
Well,
supported,
yeah.
and also more about what other organisations are finding similar. support.
Yeah.
So they're saying they have 100 people that would directly benefit this, with a further 50 indirectly, which I assume are the relatives of them.
I mean, I can see that, I think you.
And as it's Cheshire and Warrington Trust, I think we also need to be confident that it's all CW1.
Yeah, and that somebody's gonna, you know, nurture it and get the benefit, and so our funding is worth it, and
Yeah.
people will actually see the benefit.
Established a basing crew in 2001
Right.
to make their services accessible. As I say, the map is on there and they do. It's really difficult because obviously you have to rely
I
on
like it, I like it, I mean, I'm new to this, but 2005 I'd probably risk it, but I don't, It's hard for me to say, I'm here, I don't know.
So, so can I propose that we defer it for more detail?
Yes.
And then come back to the committee.
In September.
Really.
Okay. So I'll find out more information, what other services, are offered, although I doubt that they're actually specific service offered to carers, but I'll look into that and report back.
Yeah, I think you need to look at making space.
Yeah. Okay.
The next one, food chest.
We haven't taken that.
Oh, no, we haven't, sorry. So the proposal to defer, we have got seconded. Okay, all those in favour? Right, so, next, food chest club.
Late,
Eh?
late, now, night.
Right, I was really, you know, I thought, oh, I wish that there was a lot more. So I was 20 years in that.
He's a really good guy, this guy. I've spoken to him quite regularly. He's so grateful to us because in 2014 we gave him a grant for his first chess ball and chess pieces, and the group has grown and grown. So he said the funding allowed the club to start up and develop. They purchased chess sets, boards, digital clocks, and score sheets. Without this, the club could not have possibly grown to its present numbers. In terms of numbers, Crewe Chess Club is now the biggest chess club in East Cheshire, bigger than any in North Staffordshire or Shropshire, but without further funding could grow, with further funding, it could grow even more. There are only a small number of clubs larger than ours in cities in West Cheshire, Merseyside and Greater Manchester. So they're in the process of moving to the Caritas Centre. I connected them to Becky, who's connected everyone to Becky first now because it's such a great centre. And they're super excited by it. They, for the summer programme, the Rosie's summer programme, they're going to come and set up in the library for free as a free activity, assuming they're going to come up and set up, and happy to set up in Queen's Park. Perhaps a few of them will start playing just to see what interest is there. If somebody passes, that will capture them, sit down, join us. They're looking to grow and expand the club. And I personally feel this is a really good community.
You must find the giant chess set.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
This is obviously a very positive application, we'd like to point out some application. So you might, I'm not trying to direct you, you might consider it as a fully positive application to fund the percent of it, which means that would be an application 1356. And that way you need policy if you're minded to support the application.
I'm sure Becky will find in the story.
No, I asked this, it's a bespoke cupboard because of the depth of the chest. I said to them, a cupboard's a cupboard, surely you just get loads of cupboards. And they said, no, there is, but it's because of the depth of the chest set, it has to be made specifically for it.
Well, I'm sure we can link them up with Ben in chat.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean.
One of the items is £600 for relocation costs.
Yeah, so that's, I guess, a plan to take everything there to buy the, all the things you need to do to relocate. I suppose advertising and saying where they're going to be and postage and leaflets, and I think that's what he means by relocation, rather than physically, although they are going to have to move stuff there to store them. Anybody else know how we minded on this one?
To fund, the proposal then is to fund 80% of the grant.
I think, or 100%, how we done?
The 80% of the process because of the.
On proposal, we pay 80%.
So 1356.
Yeah. Seconder. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Jeffrey, that's the end of my meeting. Move on to agenda item 9.
So, just for the members that are here that are not familiar with the processes, as we move through, we obviously fund grants, I ask for feedback, and I ask them to let us know whether the project is finished, whether it worked, whether it didn't work, and there's a standard form that they can do. So at every meeting you'll see a few of these appear. Some of the projects are longer than others. So we have feedback from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that have finished since the last meeting. It's just really for your interest. It's all there.
Any questions? We can move on.
Okay, the next one, agenda item 10, the bread and butter thing. So I don't know if you've had a chance to read the notes here. So the bread and butter thing is it's like a food delivery service that people have to subscribe to. So it's almost like they become members of this service. It currently runs very well in Warrington. I've had a meeting today with Cheshire Community Foundation, Cheshire East, the CBS, and myself to talk it through, because there's understandably the likes of Chance Changing Lives and supporters are quite worried about this. So to give you a comparison, Chance Changing Lives charge £3.50, and for that you get £35 worth of food. Members are welcome into their social supermarket to select with dignity, and when they're in, they get signposted to debt counselling if they've got any issues. Everything is so it's like a wraparound service. It's not just, I mean, food is the source of everything, isn't it? So when they're in, they can help them out. If they need emergency food referral, they'll send them to St Paul's. If they need shoes or uniform, it's Motherwell or Style Shoes. So it really is a small niche that Chance Changing Lives offer. So they're quite worried about this. So ignore the £17.50 comment on there. That is incorrect. It's still a lot of money though. They charge £8.50 per week to deliver food for up to 80 people with no choice. They select the food and they give a bag of food, and the people have to queue up for the food. So they're looking at moving into Crewe and Cheshire East, particularly Macclesfield and Crewe. It costs £125,000 to set up one van, which is self-sustaining. And they would look for, say, a hub somewhere where they would have all the people that are signed up come and pick up their food and queue for it. They see the queues as a positive thing, because they say you can build friendships and get chatting. That certainly wasn't the impression we got today. I raised the question today in the meeting, so I'm customer number 81. What happens to them? Because you can't, now we just cut off at 80. Do you means test this? How do you police it? We don't. So I said, okay, so I'm customer number 81. What do I do? I have no food. What do I do? And I didn't really get a positive answer. There's real grave concern about this. I'm sure that it works in Warrington. I spoke to the lady who runs Warrington, who was the Warrington, it's like the CBS, the Warrington Voluntary Association. She was steeped in it, and it works well in Warrington, but they didn't have the services that we had to start with. So to them, it was a bonus. But I can't get my head around my own personal view how we could charge. Chance Changing Lives could charge £3.50, and they're charging £8.50. Chance Changing Lives are really concerned that people who are really in need, and they deal with lots of people who are really in need, would get missed because if they got it from them and not Chance, they signpost, they wrap around, they do everything there. Chance Changing Lives are looking to expand. They want a social supermarket in Crewe. So we're early stages of talking, and they did express that it wasn't signed, sealed and delivered. The Cheshire Community Foundation are really saying, no, this is not a done deal. We'll only raise funds if we think that it's viable, and we have no wish to water down the services that are already existing. Joe Cosby was at the meeting as well, as was David Briggs, who was the ex Lord Lieutenant. So he's the chair of the CEC Impact Group and the subgroup of CCF. So he was there at the meeting as well. So yeah, I think there are some concerns around that. And the last thing we want is for the service that chances and causes to be watered down. That's my personal opinion. But I did say I'd feedback to members tonight, and I would seek opinion.
Is that the asking was to fund?
They did ask us to fund and we said no, so we can't fund anything. They need 5 vans in total across treasuries, £125,000 to fund one van. And we'll get one day, potentially 5 deliveries, but they'd have to build it up. So they need 8 to 10 volunteers to run. Say they decided to go to the Caritas Centre, for example, they would be looking for 8 to 10 volunteers to run that. Well, volunteering recruits really, everybody's really struggling. So that also raises the alarm bells. But they don't just drop it off to people's houses. I saw the benefit maybe in a rural community who can't, they're hard to reach people who can't come in. But again, they might think, why am I paying £8.50 and they get it for £3.50? I saw it that actually could enhance the service chance changing lives. That would be the, and they're desperately worried about it. They're on the phone to me fairly regularly to say, we're worried.
Is that £8.50, do you think, in a way, covering the costs of these quite expensive vehicles?
Yes.
And that price might come down?
No, so it's just gone up. It was £7. So 17 was not correct. It was £7, and in April it went up to £8.50. So they're salaried. People that run the vans are salaried. Obviously, they go to supermarkets and talk to them about how they can avoid so much waste. So they see it as it's all in the nose. If you like, really. They
But
see
it's
it
duplication of what Russell Trust is
as
doing, what
absolutely.
we're doing in the area. Chance change like might be £3.50, £35, but actually on top of that, there's so much free stuff. There's so much free stuff they get, bread and vegetables and that come from the
Women's
supermarkets.
products.
Yeah. So
And there's no choice as well. So for me, the dignity.
yeah.
The officers expressed concern to the Unity Foundation about the threat to the third sector delivery in the town is already sustainable in the challenge due to cost of living. I would, as Jack was expressing, recommend the committee recognises that concern if you want to. And we can go back and see Representative David Briggs as the chair of that group. If you mind.
Just to mention that Joe Crosby is going to go out and have a look at the records of this TVT, just to ask some questions, just to have a look, because it's quite difficult today. We didn't get the answers to the questions. So there's no need for space to go, so Joe's going to go and do that.
Jill, sorry.
I know it's on page 117, I know you said the £17, but it's in 2021, they spent £613,412 on salary.
Yeah.
Carrying a reserve of £1,592,568.
It's a profit making.
Now, that to me,
Yeah.
wouldn't suggest to me that it's non-profit then.
Just doing a little bit of calculation on a fully occupied van, 5 days delivery across an area. I think about 50 a head to use it.
80 per day.
Per day, so
Yeah.
£176,800 per van.
And it can't be that big of a
It
bag full of stuff, because if it's a bag, it's not that big of a van for 80 bags to be on that bag. It's not going to be, in my head I've got like a little veg tray that, I have delivered from,
seems like quite a sustainable business.
Well, it's self-sustaining, and that's why, because so I opinion of the crew is that we'll be a bit careful.
Right, so the proposal, sorry, Ben.
I can't keep quiet. So
We don't want you to.
I volunteer to collect donated food from different stores, and I deliver it to St Paul's and by my bicycle. And the thought being overtaken by some bloke with a brand new spiking van.
That splashes you.
But also, you've just, so Mr. Boy's just, you just signed up to Riverford, very posh
Yes,
middle class.
Yeah.
That's cheaper than this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So And then the food waste stuff, the food waste in big shop is a big issue, so it's a big issue. But, the co-op, like other stores, we've got something called Caboodle, which we're inviting groups like LAF to sign up to. So they come along, so Frank will come along to a big co-op store, and there are, anecdotally, some of those groups I've got too much food and business for bread, so I'm dead against it, and I don't even think it should be preferred, I just think it's,
It's really just for you to note. I mean, food is the gateway to all services, isn't it? You know,
Yeah,
and when you've got
normally,
them
yeah,
in
this
front,
isn't.
no, but this isn't. That's the point. So when they're in front of you, people who need food, then you can help them in other areas as well, which I think is
Which
important.
is what the other organisations do, and do very
I
well.
asked if the volunteers were qualified in any way, and basically they're between 8 to 10 volunteers to run every day regularly. So say we had one hunting crew. So it's mostly by over 60s people who are happy to help and give advice, or the Duke of Edinburgh Trust youngsters come through and get it on their CV and whatever. But is there anyone there qualified to be deputised, actually qualified, or is so I think it was a potential that it could do harm rather than good. That's my view. So, I did say that I was floated by you also. What's the general opinion, just so that I can note it? Is anyone for it or no? No.
I think the feedback is that we are more than satisfied with the organisations which are providing support within our community already. And don't feel there is a need for any others to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in this format, anyway.
Yeah.
So I'd like to appeal, just like Ben has as well, as a union chair. Our branch meeting always meets every month, and we supply our members to bring the food to nominated the 3 bags of also appeal to everybody. Members to get out there to say
I find it obnoxious that they can spend over £500,000 on salaries when they're asking people to work for nothing. It
Are
just,
you based in London? Is it London salaries?
hey, hang on a minute, that's prejudice.
You'll find that London weighted salaries are a lot higher than.
I don't get London waiting anymore.
I think one of the things when we sat down at the last meeting to close the year end, Jill took to me afterwards and said that you were particularly interested in social supermarkets for crew. And I know that Chance Changing Lives, and I keep banging on about them, but I just think they do such great work. They said with £125,000, you know, we could have our dream and be based here. And I have expressed that to Cheshire Community Foundation, because they are just the funders. So without the funding, it's not going to happen. But I felt that it's just edging a little bit forward every time. So I think it's quite important that we do a formal response to, do you think, Cheshire Community? Yeah.
You can't very well turn around and say get stuck. Can you?
No, but we can say that we don't agree with it for these reasons, because if it was going to be good for the crew, we'd all be for it. But
If Cheshire Community Foundation have got that sort of money, then could we have some of it?
Yes, please,
To
yes.
support, and also I'm sure Macclesfield, who was the other hub, would be thinking exactly the same.
yeah.
So, there's plenty of, church.
They funded £20 million in the last 10 years of Cheshire Community Foundation, and they do fund Chance other projects.
Some of these projects we're talking about, like Park St Paul's, Chance, and Motherwell and Wishington, they've all had Cheshire Community Foundation funding, but to give it to something which is not needed.
Okay, so I'll do a
I
formal
think it's a strong letter to their donators, the people that donate to Cheshire Community Foundation.
I can't get over the cost of the van.
Yeah.
Is it gold plated?
Right, I think we've done that to death, haven't we?
Yeah.
Item 11.
So agenda item 11 is just letting you all know what I've been working on since the last meeting. business food plan update. So as you can see, we have committed some food bank support. Tree of Light is a service that we delivered in December. That's all in hand, paperwork submitted, progress happening there. Key community groups, we hired £5,850 of funding last year, but I'm just hanging on to that for winter. I did go out to the groups and speak to them and just take a bit of evaluation of where they were up to. And some of them haven't spent, so for example, there's still slow cookers at Chance that they haven't distributed. The only group that did continue that we gave £500 to was Wishing Well, because they wanted to continue the use of materials. But apart from that, I'm keeping that for winter, for when things look dire. I don't see the need to share it out at the moment. We funded, as was approved, Wishing Well's friendship group. We just fitted DFIB, Caritas Centre. I'm looking on West Street for the next one, Hoppinalls Forest or Blind Shop. That's cool. Remembrance Sunday service, slight change this year because of course we're going to have hoardings where the car park where we usually muster under the car park and check in there. That's going to be demolished or starting to be demolished. So we'll be using the market hall, the sheds at the back of the market hall if the weather's. If not, we will be outside and the route and the parade will change. I've just got a map in so that you can see where we're going and what we're doing. I've engaged with loads of care homes and community groups, and I've got lots of people in the community knitting poppies. So the idea is that we flood the town because the hoardings are going to look dreadful. And I just thought, nice community project, get everyone engaged. Geelong have knitted 500 so far, but I've even got just residents of care homes knitting them in. And community groups have given out wool, got red wool upstairs if anyone needs any. St Peter's Church, we continued with the Holiday Hunger projects and we committed £8,500 to those, of which they've had 427,250. That is subject to evaluation, everything always is for the next payment. We committed, as was approved, to Child Safety Media, Crucial Crew, an annual event. Pop up in the parks, that's due to start on Monday. That is activity sessions, wellbeing sessions, mums and buggies, wellbeing walks, family fun. So it's a press release today for that, it's all gone out, and we're doing it on a 4-week rolling basis. I've asked them to use every park I've asked them to use every ward and find a park, and then they'll just see how it works. It's a 3-year contract with them. So they're looking at activities, but they're completely flexible. They're just going to see what works, what doesn't, and rotate it on a 4-week basis. Rosie will be building that into the summer programme as well. So that will be advertised as a free activity. So it's a really nice one. It's a nice thing to do for the community. And I just put a sample schedule in for the first 4 weeks to show where the activities were. Female mental health, we've given £500 to Motherwell for their period dignity contribution. They're going to put Freetown Council on the little bags that they're delivering to the safe spaces. I'm also activating the White Ribbon membership. This is in progress. So to become an accredited member, you just need to tick a few boxes and make it known that we are against violence against teenagers. So this is something that when I first started, it was on the agenda for discussion, and everybody said yes, of course that's the case. And they came back and said, we're quite disappointed that so it would just mean that it'd be on our website, and it's 150 quid, and you need a male ambassador. Ben has offered kindly to be that person, or anybody else wants to do it. But I'll put together a proposal for that and keep you all updated, and I'll report back formally in September on that. And male mental health, we put a few requests for quotations on our website, 3 expressions of interest we're receiving, and we awarded funding to Wilderness Tribe. And they go once a month. They are a proven commodity in other areas. They're looking to move into crew. One of them works with Mentor, so he's a qualified, coach. He knows what he's doing. So once a month, the funding will mean that they can deliver a session outside for 12 men, for different men. They can roll on if they want to. But it's going back to fires and barbecues and just generally just being outside, taking in nature. I know they want to connect with you. I've given them more detail. So I connected them with Bruce Morgan, I've connected them with the Wilderness, was it Wildlife Trust, Rosie? Who else did we have? Well, yeah, Woodland Trust, and at the moment they're looking at sites so that they can operate out there. So it's a really nice, different project. And I liked it because it worked in other areas and they just needed a breaking through. So I know Cheshire East are funding them as well, but they needed match funding, which they've now got from us. So all positive. Supported adults mental health, that went to, again, it all goes on our website and we invite expressions of interest, that went to Wishenwell. That goes to George's Community Hub, so that's where those supported adults operate from. We have approved funding for Dementia Friendly Crew, but we are not going to take that till July, August. Veteran support, that will just be allocated as and when, because there are so many little veterans groups requiring different things. For example, can we have a sound speaker for Remembrance Sunday? We thought it was better just to be able to give as and when the need arose. And coming on to the last thing, we are, again, we did an expression of interest invitation thing on our website, and we have two quotations, one from CBS and one from an external company, looking at demographic mapping so that we can have a more targeted response to things like the grant scheme where you're saying, Jill, you know, well, do we have that in this area? There'll be a map on the wall. We can say, yeah, actually we do, it's there, or no, we don't. So we've got quotes coming in for that. I've scored them all today with Pete, and that will be happening in the next 6 weeks sometime. So yeah, lots going on, but all good. There we are, that's it. I'm done.
Ben, just a couple of information points there, really. What you're doing is really interesting because I'm talking to Inspector Goodwin and the co-ops and the Women's Safety WPS.
Yeah.
There are free online training about standing by the bystander and also training trainers one.
Yeah.
So just as a pilot for the co-op, we're going to do that training, we can start rolling it out. And it's about what do you do if you see somebody getting accident without putting yourself in danger. And I think that would add the need to the white ribbon thing because it's actually doing something. So I'd just like to say that at some point I'd like to take that forward with the council because we did talk a long time ago about safe places in Crewe. You know, you have a badge on the store things.
Motherwell are on that at the moment. I know that we spoke, didn't we, about that. Motherwell are looking at putting the period poverty tax into shops that will allow young women to use, not young women, women to use the toilets, even if they're not customers, but also making it a safe space and putting period products in there for them to use. So I think that's a pretty good start. And yeah, if we get accredited as a white ribbon council, it's just a really good thing that demonstrates.
And that's like would go towards that, because you'd have to.
Yes. Yeah. So, but they asked for a male ambassador. You don't really have to do an awful lot, but they want somebody who's specifically male, and then there has to be like a little almost like a steering group. It has to be 3 people, so that's absolutely yeah, or whoever, you know, it doesn't put that to the vote. I'll do a full report on it and then I'll put it before committee in September and perhaps we can formally vote for who then would like to be on those committees and get something fully approved.
White ribbon days,
November, yeah. So come
do a conference.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to say we are accredited.
Yeah, the Cheshire Youth Service. So we have occasions where we have putting up big light ribbons, putting around the buildings.
I'm also meeting with Cheshire Against Abuse Myself the other day in July, so I'm just doing a bit of research, so I'll get it all together and present it to you in September.
So the other thing was, I'm interested, the Wild Rumpus space, they're looking for people to help build something in their temporary structures, and it will be like a forest school, which is why I made that comparison. But if we could, if the
Wilderness Tribe,
people, I'd like to put them in contact with the Wild Rumpus.
Brilliant, yeah, would you be able to let me have the details and I'll connect them?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to have a meeting with you about the DFID in Riley Street or Miriam Street.
Okay.
Remember we said about,
Yeah. On the many sheds.
yeah, well, not so much there, but on the main building, around this same area.
As long
But
as
there
it's-
was a police sergeant who lives opposite.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a clue he was a cop,
Mhm.
just started talking to him. And I turned around and said, we'll try to get one here, and he said, we need one.
Mm.
And when you work it out with the people that work in that building,
Yeah.
and the many people in many sheds, let's be fair, I think there's only about 3 or 4 of us that, I'll rephrase that, there's only 3 or 4 of them that are under 60. And, I know I don't look it, and, but there's an ideal, but although it's got gates, one of them is completely gone.
Well, it has to be 24-hour accessible. Someone
Yeah.
has to be the like guardian of it and do the weekly checks, and then it goes live actually on the circuit.
Many sheds will look after that.
But as long as the gates are open, if someone moved in and shut the gates, then it's.
They can't shut the gates, it's not there.
Okay.
But if the gates were to be reinstated,
Yeah, then it's a talk away from this. meeting.
Okay.
so.
Anybody else with any other comments on the report? No. Thank you, Jackie, for your report. Okay, we'll work being done. Right, in that case, I will close the meeting. Oh, marvellous.
Sorry.
Close the meeting.
It's about item 12. I just really like, us to meet at 7 PM, please.
Oh, okay,
Rather
no,
than
you said the
6.
date, then it's this. Oh, yeah, to note the date, then it's this. Sorry, Martin, just skip that.
I don't know who calls the time of our meetings, but,
This is a subject that is, yeah.
Right, hello.
it's much more convenient for myself and perhaps others who are of working age.
I suggest that we
go, because I'm late for the next meeting.
Mine solicitors, right, Clark, bonus.
See you later, everybody.
Thank you.
I don't want to push it later.
It is unfortunately, in my limited experience, the timing of meetings is always challenging. It is exceptionally rare to have a meeting where everyone can attend. That's not everyone's fault, that's due to everyone being wanted, all the demands on your time, and that's perfectly reasonable. It was, it's been raised informally quite appropriately several times, and more recently it was discussed at F&G last night, Finance and Governance Committee associated with standing orders. And at that committee, it was resolved to recommend to Council to change standing orders to standardise hours of meetings, because of the confusion of when meetings can and can't meet and that sort of thing. When do and don't meet, because there are different hours, 6 or 7 o'clock is generally the approach. And that decision at F&G last night was to standardise the meeting time at 6 PM. That requires ratification by council because there's a change to the standing orders. So there's yet to understand. So meetings can be held in the evening at a time to be agreed by the committee. Unfortunately, I've never known 100% consensus on meeting time. So please, whilst one time works for whether it doesn't work for the second person, it's never a personal decision. What's the consensus on it? So as of today, whilst there's a recommendation outstanding by F&G committee to council, you can arrange the time of this committee anytime. As of council meeting, if council does not resolve to support that decision, then we're back to square one and just having to work out what the plan is realistically. And I can only say to them, I'm really sorry, there is no perfect answer to this. You're going to have this conversation in every council across the country once or twice a year. And I'm really sorry, that's not anyone's fault, that's just nature of everything, so many people. So, you're now going to close the meeting, Chair, and agree a time. It might be an opportune moment to discuss for this committee what time it wants to meet. With in mind that the F&G is making standardised at 6 PM, which makes that evening meeting a bit more regular, but equally doesn't fulfil the opportunity to meet.
That, right, I'll put the proposal that we go with what is being proposed at full council, that the next meeting be held at 6 p.m. Okay,
You need a second. if you-
Seconded.
Now,
all those in favour? Those against? Right.
It makes sense to standardise it.
It does make sense to standardise it, and I, 6 p.m, come winter months and in winter, I think, expecting people to be on public transport after 9 p.m. It is.
sorry, what public transport after?
Well, exactly, what public transport after
No,
9 p.m.
the chair will close the meeting, and I'm sure this debate will go on.
Yeah, I'll close the meeting